Honorable members, let us pray. Almighty God, we beseech to behold with your abundant favor and blessings as your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to leadership positions in this republic. We seek guidance to treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. Amen. Good afternoon, honorable members, and even our visitors at the public gallery, and welcome to our afternoon session of Wednesday, 4th October 2023. Clerk, order of business.
Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Honorable members, I would like to acknowledge the presence in the public gallery this afternoon of visiting students, that is pupils and teachers from Koitamat Primary School from Ainamoi Ward. And in our usual tradition of receiving and welcoming visitors to the assembly, I extend a warm welcome to them, and on behalf of the assembly, I wish them a fruitful visit. Honorable members, I will give you an opportunity at a later stage during the transaction of our business to welcome the visitors in the public gallery, and more so to the Honorable Chiriot Bett, who is our ranking member in this assembly. Because these are visitors from your ward. I'm also informed that they cut across the ward of the Honorable Paul Chirchir, the MCA for Kapsoit, and the self-proclaimed future something. Honorable members, I will only extend that I guess I'll give you a minute to welcome, and then you make your contribution when that time comes. I have a second communication of the day, honorable members, and this is in regards to this morning, the session that you had this morning, chaired by the Deputy Speaker, where the issue of the dress codes came up. Honorable members, be reminded of what the standing orders envisaged, as well as when the guide of this county assembly. You are advised that from Tuesday, that is 10th October 2023, that all members must adhere to that dress code without fail. I remind you that this is a house of dignity, and even our own honorable women, members of the county assembly, you dress appropriately. Just to inform you, I was following you live in the morning, and I noted the concern of some honorable members of the county assembly. Honorable leaders, those who are in leadership position, you also take lead and show by examples. We expect you to adhere to that, the dress code. Honorable members, I have other communications to make. this, I will read it to you. The Office of the Clerk on 29 September 2023 received a letter from the County Executive Committee member in charge of Agriculture, Livestock and Cooperative Management seeking approval of the County Assembly to construct a milk processing plant at Kabianga Tea Farm. The said department conducted public participation on the same on 12 September 2023, and I therefore committed the said letter to the Cooperative Management, Tourism and Wildlife Committee. The committee in its deliberation should confirm that the said proposal has been captured in the past County Integrated Development Plan 2023 to 2028 and the budgetary implication to that effect. The Honorable Chairperson for Cooperatives, that is the Honorable Philip Mutai. In the absence of the Vice Chairperson, the Vice Chairpersons of Cooperative or any member of Cooperative, the Leader of Majority, please note this commitment, pass it to your Chairperson so that you can proceed with prosecuting the matter. Second, the other communication is again the Office of the Clerk on 14 September 2023 received a letter from the County Executive Committee of member in charge of Agriculture, Livestock and Cooperative Management forwarding the Kericho County Agriculture Sector Coordination Bill 2023. Clause 17 to 20 of the said bill provides for financial provisions which, as per Section 21 of the County Government Act and Standing Order 124 subsection 3, defines it as a money bill, hence ought to be committed to the Budget and Appropriation Committee. I therefore direct that the said bill be committed to the Budget and Appropriation Committee to confirm its monetary implication in the current and future budget and consult the County Executive Committee in charge of Finance and Economic Planning before I certify the same to be published as a bill. Kindly note that I shall require comments from the said committee within the next 14 days. And lastly, honorable members, and I wish that when the Honorable Chairperson Budget has noted that is very important. Of course, as the Chairperson Budget, because it is a money bill, I also expect that you work closely with the Committee of Agriculture, Livestock and Cooperative as you deliberate on this important bill that has been forwarded to us by the County Executive. Third is in furtherance to the communication I made yesterday on bills I committed to the 3 sectoral committees. Kindly know that pursuant to Standing Order 124, you are required to give comments on the same within 14 days before publication of the said bills. Remember that there are bills that I committed yesterday to the 3 various committees, and I know the chairpersons, you are aware, in the afternoon sessions, you are also required to give comments. And those comments are directed to the Office of the Speaker on the same within 14 days before publication of the said bills. Please note that is as per our Standing Order number 124 on how the bills shall be processed in this House. Clerk, next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next.
Order number 5, papers.
Next.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next.
Order number 7, statements.
Honorable members, this afternoon, we have a number of statements that is basing on the statement tracker for 2022-2027, and I will invite the Honorable Cheriot Boots, who is the chairperson for the Committee on Education and Culture, to give the status of the statements of that committee. Please proceed, the Honorable Cheriot Boots.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity give a status report of the various statements maybe that was committed to our department. And secondly, Mr. Speaker, to also reiterate on what I said in the morning session concerning the programs that we have in Education Department, Mr. Speaker. But before then, Mr. Speaker, allow me to take this opportunity to welcome the pupils, teachers, parents, and the entire people from a school called Koitamat and Koisamoi from Ainamoi ward. Welcome very much to this county assembly. You are at the right place. This is the county assembly that deliberates on various issues that take place in our county. So you are at the right place. And as I said, Mr. Speaker, in the morning, this is a replica of the National Assembly. Nowadays, Mr. Speaker, as I normally say, there is no difference between the county assembly and the National Assembly. Maybe the only difference is the area of jurisdiction. We cover somehow, I represent a ward and a member of parliament represent a constituency, but the roles of the members of parliament and that of the county assembly members are just by the same. So you are at the right time. Feel free, learn with us. We are very happy, Mr. Speaker. Today in the morning, I welcome pupils from Kericho Glorious Academy. And we feel proud when we find schools even within our county coming on educational tour. I know by the end of this, by the end of their tour, Mr. Speaker, I know they are going to learn a lot because they are interacting firsthand from, these are now the practicals, Mr. Speaker. You know, I'm a teacher of history, Mr. Speaker. And sometimes we normally take pupils and students through stages where an act goes through, right from the drafting stage to the assent by His Excellency, the Governor, the county government, and the President at the national level, Mr. Speaker. So today, they now came for practicals. So it's only unfortunate that maybe today we may not have, they may not have an opportunity to interact, especially when we are passing a legislation here. But if they had gotten an opportunity to be here next week, Mr. Speaker, because you remember you commit one of the bill to Committee on Education, that is the vocational training bill, which I will lead my Committee on Education probably next week, Mr. Speaker, to table in this county assembly. So I wish that they also will be here next week so that they interact. However, Mr. Speaker, I know they are going to learn a lot. So you are highly welcome. These are the people, Mr. Speaker. These are the students, the pupils who have always sung my name for the last 10 years, Mr. Speaker. Their parents have always been my voters, Mr. Speaker. So they are today I'm a very happy man, Mr. Speaker, because my voters are here. So when they go home, they will now go and tell their parents what the MCA is doing, Mr. Speaker. So I'm a very proud man today. Of course, secondly, Mr. Speaker, sometimes they do not find us in our homes is because we come to this county assembly to represent them, Mr. Speaker. So at least they have known where the MCA goes in the morning and up to the evening, Mr. Speaker. So you are welcome. Feel free. I know the honorable member from Kapsoit, the honorable Tarimbo, will also have an opportunity to also welcome them because, Mr. Speaker, you know our word is complex. But basically, most importantly, Mr. Speaker, is that the ward that we represent, the ward that Tarimbo, MCA Paul Chirchir from Kapsoit represent, has the same challenges with the ward that I represent on this other side, and by extension, the MCA for Caps House. We come from the lower part of this sub-county, Mr. Speaker. We may not compare ourselves so much with MCA, the Deputy Speaker, and of course the MCA for Cap Kugerwet, of course Kipchimji, because their ward somehow developed as we come from the lower belt, Mr. Speaker. It is even a semi-arid area, Mr. Speaker. So you are highly welcome. This is where we normally debate on issues touching on the development from where we come from. So welcome. I know I will have an opportunity later on, Mr. Speaker, to interact with them, especially when these sessions come to an end, I will interact with them at this county assembly, Mr. Speaker, and we will do much. Mr. Speaker, I had given a status report in the morning concerning the development that we have. But one, Mr. Speaker, I think there was a statement that was raised by the Honorable Matt Kerr some time back, Mr. Speaker, and we had tabled the report, Mr. Speaker, but you had given us an opportunity to go and add flesh. But we had a candid discussion. If I can see Honorable Matt Kerr, Mr. Speaker, is laughing because at least we had a candid discussion and he was somehow satisfied with the responses. Maybe I will only ask some few things. And you know, he's one of the MCAs that you are talking that by next week, Mr. Speaker, Tuesday, you will be well dressed. So I know they have gotten, because I was the one raising that point of order, Mr. Speaker. So I know by next week all these honorable members will be well dressed. Mr. Speaker, the other statement, it was a statement that captured the entire county, Mr. Speaker, because they wanted to know the status of each and every ECD center that we have in our county, but we are planning to respond maybe in the near future, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, maybe to reiterate on what I said in the morning, because I have seen there are some honorable members who are not there, is that the youth that we need to train, the list is already at our committee clerk for education. So get the list, look at the list of the applicants, from your ward, because we want to train the 3,000 youth, Mr. Speaker. Each ward is giving out 100 of them, but it's unfortunate because the money for training is already there, Mr. Speaker, because this is the county assembly that did appropriate last June. But the county assembly somehow, we are delaying the process. So I kindly urge, especially those who are not here in the morning, to speed up the process so that we begin training beginning at least next week, Mr. Speaker. We should submit the list by Friday. And maybe new development, Mr. Speaker, is that the governor is also, I had requested honorable members, Mr. Speaker, that by next week, the county is going to give out letters, Mr. Speaker. I know maybe the letter it was supposed to have been sent today, Mr. Speaker, but I checked the opportunity to welcome the honorable members to grace the occasion of giving out letters to our ECD teachers, Mr. Speaker, letters for permanent and pensionable. So I want to take the opportunity, of course, as a chair, to invite all of us to Moi Gardens on that very day, Mr. Speaker. It will be a milestone, as I said in the morning, Mr. Speaker, for the honorable members who are seated here today and the third county assembly, Mr. Speaker. As I said, when the history of the early childhood education teachers will be written, Mr. Speaker, this third assembly will never miss a chapter, Mr. Speaker. That is what I said in the morning, because we managed to confirm all of them, Mr. Speaker. And that is a plus for education in our county, Mr. Speaker. And I will also not miss a chapter or two, Mr. Speaker. So let's purpose to attend at that event on that very day, Mr. Speaker. Otherwise, I may not have much to say, Mr. Speaker. I am just a brown man, because once we give them letters, at least they will live a decent life, Mr. Speaker, as we try to increase more teachers, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the school that is seated here today, Mr. Speaker, includes around 2 or 3 ECD teachers, Mr. Speaker, that they are going to receive their letters on Friday on permanent and pensionable, Mr. Speaker. So I know they are also going to be very happy, Mr. Speaker. In fact, I have seen one of them, Mr. Speaker, is doing like this. So because we also need them to live a decent life, just like all those other employees, Mr. Speaker. Otherwise, I may not have much to say, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for giving me the opportunity, and by extension, the people of Ainamoi, the great people of Ainamoi, who I represent. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
And thank you so much, the Honorable Cheriot Pitts, on the status report of your committee. Just to give you further direction, is that the statement raised by the Honorable Dominic Mutai is due on 18th October 2023. That is next Wednesday. And the statement, of course, is the one that we have talked about, the number of ECD caretakers, ECD schools constructed, number of ECD schools yet to be equipped by the county, the number of ECD schools and ablution blocks yet to be constructed, and the method of procurement, the statements of implementation, of construction and equipping of all ECD schools per ward within the country, breakdown of disbursement of bursary funds for the 3 financial years, including financial year 2022-2023, and the balances of bursary allocation per ward for the last financial year. That is a very critical statement that was raised, and I was just reminding the chairperson that the future that you talked about is actually on 18th October 2023. Just for the sake of the visitors, is that your Honorable MCA, that is Cheriot Bett, is our ranking member, and as an assembly, we recognize ranking members because he has been elected 3 times and the most senior most in this county assembly, and he has a seat reserved for him as a ranking member. In fact, this county assembly has ordered a seat from the prisons specifically for 2 honorable members, that is the Honorable Cheriot Bett and the Honorable Albert Kipkoech, who are our ranking members. Honorable members, I know you aspire to be like the Honorable Cheriot Bett, so stay close to him so that perhaps he can guide you on what to do so that you can come back and become a ranking member in future. Having said that, the Honorable Paul Chirchir, as you make your comments, you also, using standing order number 1, I give you authority to brief these members on matters of their welfare, because there was a request in the morning by the Honorable Dr. Moses that perhaps members should be provided with dress allowance, which you may need to address before this House. Proceed, the Honorable Paul Chirchir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. I am seeing our pupils are going out, but they will be back, I guess. The Speaker, sir, allow me to use this opportunity to extend a very warm welcome to pupils, teachers, parents, and BOM from Koitabnat and Koisamo Primary Schools, respectively, Mr. Speaker, sir. Feel welcome. This assembly is a replica of the National Assembly. What happens here happens at the National Assembly. The work of the County Assembly is a legislative arm of the county government, and our work is to legislate, to oversight, and to represent. That is basically the work of the Assembly. And the head of the Assembly is the Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to second what my colleague has said, that where we come from, we do not have a boundary. Like myself, I do not have a boundary when it comes to representing the good people of Kericho. We work together as a family, and we will always do that, Mr. Speaker, sir. The honorable member who has just left the floor, he has done a good job, Mr. Speaker. The act that is used to disperse bursary was done by the Honorable Cheriot Bett, Kericho County Bursary Act, which has even been amended, was initiated by the Honorable Cheriot Bett from Ainamoi, and it's been helping students from vulnerable background to be able to access education. So I want to tell the people who are here, when you join Form 1, the act that was enacted was done by Cheriot Bett, and you'll be able to go to school courtesy of bursary from the county, among many other things. ECD teachers, they will be employed on permanent and pensionable, Mr. Speaker, and those with a certificate will be remunerated using the rates that this assembly has approved for certificate holders. Those with a diploma will get theirs the same way with a degree, depending on the qualification, Mr. Speaker, sir. So they will be able to enjoy pension like the TSC teachers or teaching in primary school, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I also want to use this opportunity to appeal to the honorable members that Kedawa School for the Deaf is a national school, but it has a wing of ECD. and that ECD requires 2 teachers. So the next time we will be, the county will be employing, we should consider Kedawa School for the Deaf with 2 positions, and that should not be counted as an allocation for Kedawa. It should be an allocation for the county, because all of us from each ward as students in that school. Having said that, Mr. Speaker, allow me to use this opportunity also to laud what the county executive or the county government are doing. I have seen, Mr. Speaker, I have seen a memo or a circular asking all
the Honorable Paul Chirchir, take your seat. There is a point of order by the Honorable Chiriot.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, is it in order for the Honorable Member to keep her phone, Mr. Speaker, on a loud mode while it is very clear, Mr. Speaker, because the phone has rung like 3 times, Mr. Speaker, you know, and the Honorable Member representing the great people of Kapsoit and a future something, Mr. Speaker, is making very critical and important points, Mr. Speaker. Is that in order, Mr. Speaker? The Honorable Beatrice Chepkemoi.
Order, honorable members. Order. Of course, the Honorable Beatrice, you are reminded that you need to put on silent your mobile phone, or you put it on a flight mode, or you ultimately switch it off so that you don't create disturbance in this house. Remember when it rings so many times, as raised by the Honorable Chiriot, but may amount to gross disorderly conduct, and you know there's consequences to that effect. So that applies to honorable members who are here. Even as you consult, I also urge you to consult on low tones. Honorable Paul Chirchir, and therefore the Honorable Beatrice, you are out of order, but next time try to do as directed. Proceed and finalize.
Mr. Speaker, sir, the induction course was just the other day. I think she needs to go back to her notes and acquaint herself with procedures of this house, Mr. Speaker, sir, because we've always said we are a house of rules and procedures. Mr. Speaker, sir, I was telling the House that I have seen a circular by the county executive, the municipal board manager, Mr. Speaker, directing all owners of buildings in Kericho, Mr. Speaker, to paint their buildings in preparation for the big day, that is the 20th, Mr. Speaker. So we will be hosting Mashujaa Day, we'll be hosting His Excellency the President, and we're lucky as a county to be hosting Mashujaa 2023. As a house, we need to come up with maybe legislation to guide the same. That is with your leadership, Mr. Speaker, so you now need to guide us maybe to come up with legislation or a motion to support, because you see when building owners are told to paint buildings, they have not been given a guidance in terms of color, in terms of how to paint, which material to use. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, with your guidance, you will guide us on how to do, but we support the initiative. It is a good initiative, as this county should look green and clean, Mr. Speaker, sir. So I know you'll guide us in terms of how to maybe support the same. Otherwise, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. And the all owners, they should also be guided, because we'll be hosting quite a number of guests. I know the security will be good, but we should also tell them how to host guests in terms of the hospitality in a wide way, in terms of painting their buildings, beddings. We may be quiet on that, but it's very important, because our people need to be guided, Mr. Speaker, so that when we host guests, we are preparing to make Kericho County a city. And this is a test, a true test on the 20th, Mr. Speaker, sir, because the whole of Kenya will be in Kericho. Are we ready? Are we very ready? So those are some of the things that we need to have a discussion, and a serious discussion on the same, Mr. Speaker, sir. Others, I thank you.
The Honorable Paul Chirchir, as you take your seat, I had given you an opportunity using standing order number 1 to give progress report on matters welfare of these honorable members. The Honorable Paul Chirchir, before I give you the mic, I think it is my duty to remind you that you and the Honorable Anita Biegon, you were elected to that County Assembly Service Board to serve the welfare of these honorable members. And if I can recall very well, when you were sworn in, you were put to say it is welfare, welfare, and welfare. I want to give you an opportunity. Remember, in the morning, there was a request by the Honorable Dr. Moses Rotich of Tendeno that perhaps since these honorable members, maybe they have failed to dress properly because of lack of dress code allowance. But there are the important matters of welfare of these honorable members of the County Assembly. And therefore, I give you an opportunity to just present a report on the progress on their welfare. And I know you are from a meeting that we were discussing on that welfare.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Indeed, earlier on in the morning, the Honorable Moses Rotich, from the Honorable Member for Tendeno Soget, had requested to know whether there is an allowance for dressing. Mr. Speaker, sir, all assemblies are guided by a circular from SRC. And Salaries and Remuneration Commission, Mr. Speaker, sir, gives a list of benefits, allowances, and any other allowance that an honorable member gets, Mr. Speaker, sir, including mileage. The mileage allowance was withdrawn, but there is an allowance for car reimbursement, Mr. Speaker, sir. So those are allowances that an honorable member is eligible to get, and we draw all that from SRC circular. Number 2, Mr. Speaker, the honorable members, we have a request from the government of Israel requesting, inviting members from the county. We have 2 invitations from the government of Israel and Netherlands, Mr. Speaker, sir, inviting members to travel to their country for activities that have been listed in the letter. So that is part of the welfare, Mr. Speaker, sir, that we are working on. So though at the same time, there's a circular from the Office of the President in terms of who can travel outside the country and who cannot travel. So we will abide by the letter at the same time. All assemblies are independent institutions that are guided by standing orders and county government acts, Mr. Speaker. So we are very much aware that welfare of the members is very well taken care of. There are details that I may not be able to divulge here, but very soon, Mr. Speaker, you will see members smiling. The Honorable Opile Loela, Mr. Speaker, sir, will be smiling. I shall be going to Nairobi next week, Mr. Speaker, sir. I thank you.
Okay, thank you, the Honorable Paul Chirchir, about that. Remember that the Honorable Ezron Ngetich is in charge of Ministry of Happiness of this assembly. And I'm so sure by the time they will get their laptop, even if it is after 1 year or 2 years, they will be smiling. And that will be welfare, welfare, welfare. Even if it means these honorable members waiting for 2 years. I think that is, we all agree that that is part of welfare. And I think I declare it to be part of welfare, even if we miss laptops for 2 years. And that is welfare, the honorable members. At this time, or stage, I want to give to the Honorable Vincent Korir. This morning, I'm told that during the morning session, there was an interruption of when you are making progress. And of course, you are aware that you have 35 reports before your desk as the chairperson and your committee. And the 35 reports is not a mean task. And therefore, the Honorable, before I give directives on the same, I would like to give you an opportunity so that you can explain to this House the progress of those reports and the plan that you have as a committee to ensure that those reports are tabled before this House and adopted, and the time that you require to do all 35 reports. I think it's something that is of concern to this House. And any challenges that you have, you will mention them so that we give proper guidance and directions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to talk on PAC and PAC as a committee itself. Also, thank you for giving me opportunity. I would like to welcome the students from Koitamat and students and teachers. And also, I would like to encourage the students to actually work hard. And I know their future is bright. And maybe one day, one time, we'll get even a president, a governor from the students. Mr. Speaker, sir, in the morning session, I was explaining to the House on the progress of PAC. And PAC committees are very important committee to this House because one of our role is oversight. And actually what PAC does is we oversight what the executive, whatever is happening again in this House, and any other investment in this county. And it's very important for us to be able to look at the auditor's report. And Mr. Speaker, sir, we have several reports that maybe we have not acted, and some maybe came from the second assembly. Most of the reports in the second assembly maybe were not tackled. But Mr. Speaker, sir, we need to have a solution so that the challenges that we have can be able to be solved by the members and us as the House. As I said in the morning, yesterday we had a discussion about the quorum. And quorum in the House is very important. Not only that, also the passion for every member to actually participate and give out information, digest information, analyze information in any committee is very important. Because if you are not passionate as a member, then it means the input and the output in the committee might be very low. But as a chair, I know that I'm very optimistic that this committee still has a lot of chance to tackle these reports, despite some challenges that we have. Again, last time when we were constituting the committees, maybe we need to relook at how we did. Because that time, you see, we still had some 1, 2, 3 issues amongst ourselves. But right now, we are a very stable assembly. We are now members who understand each other. We love each other, and we no longer have issues and maybe interest within the committees. This is the time where maybe we need to have members who are passionate about specific committees. So that if you are a member of a committee, you should be able to be there as a member without even being pushed or being whipped. to be able to contribute or participate in committee meetings. Mr. Speaker, sir, these reports for PAC also needs a lot of time, because to digest one report sometimes requires 2 or 3 days, because the details and the information that we have and the analysis that needs to be done requires people who are very committed. And I have talked with my members, and some of the members have also expressed their feelings and said, okay, if I can be able to move to other committees so that they can swap with somebody maybe who thinks maybe they are more passionate in other places. And those who are more passionate in PAC can also be swapped this direction. This will help, because we can reconstitute. I hope the standing orders allow us to reconstitute the committees and have members who are passionate, so that we can be able to tackle these reports, because 35 reports, and again, each report requires sometimes a notice of 7 days. Maybe, for example, the executive, we give them 7 days to respond to the report. We look at the report, we give them another 7 days to come and come before us so that we can interrogate. And again, the auditors, maybe audit team is very important. And I request, Mr. Speaker, sir, that all the audit team be committed to PAC, because they are professionals and they are accountants and they understand very well the issues of audit, so that they can be able to help the team. Also, we need to have a research officer fully committed and attached to PAC team. We also need to have a legal officer, because some of the issues within the PAC sometimes have legal implications. And when we have a legal officer, we will be advised accordingly. Again, because we are all learning, I propose, Mr. Speaker, that if we can be allowed that some of the PAC members be attached to Senate for some time, so that they can be able to acquire some skills and learn from the senators, because we work together hand in hand with the Senate. Also, training is very important, especially on the issues of audit. And what kind of reports are we supposed to look at? Training will be able to empower and capacitate the members. Mr. Speaker, sir, so far we have looked at 2 reports. And the time taken to look at the 2 reports required a lot of time, almost a month. And commitment also is very important. So, tomorrow, as members of PAC, for the first time, we are going to interrogate the CC. And next week, we are going also to look at the Kawasco. And again, we are ranking the reports, because not all the reports, some of the reports maybe requires keen attention because of maybe what the Auditor General recommended. So we are ranking the reports so that we see the most important one and the most adverse report that maybe needs to be looked at. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, sir, I request for more support, especially having passionate members to me is very important. Otherwise, I don't have much to say. I had talked in the morning, and this is just but a recommendation that maybe I'm requesting you, Mr. Speaker, and the House to consider. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, the Honorable Vincent Korir. Before I give to the Deputy Speaker to make a comment, because you are the chairperson of Liaison Committee, listening keenly to the chairperson for PAC, honorable members, we all agree that there is a very serious concern on this committee, that is the Public Accounts and Investment Committee of this County Assembly. Standing Order number 101 talks about the responsibility for statement of fact, and the chairperson PAC has, of course, in his recommendation, felt that the members of PAC are not passionate members. And he has further even, of course, confirmed, of course, still again on that standing on the number 101 on responsibility of statement of fact, because he's taking responsibility as the chairperson, that a number of honorable members who are serving in that committee feel that they should be swapped and probably be accommodated elsewhere other than fact. Honorable members, of course, work must be taken seriously, as we all know. And I know the leader of majority has just stepped out. But the honorable leadership, and that one to the Deputy Speaker, that is something, and I want to direct that. Number one, before building capacity, that is the aspect of training of this committee, which I direct to happen immediately. Before I give direction, yes, the Honorable Cheriot, you raised, yes, okay.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I heard the chair for PAC, Mr. Speaker, giving his remarks, Mr. Speaker. From the word go, Mr. Speaker, he was complaining. If you had the chair for PAC, he was complaining from the word go. When we were tabling that report on progress yesterday, Mr. Speaker, this is a committee that has 35 reports that has never been tabled, Mr. Speaker. And the chairman here, Mr. Speaker, is saying the members of his committee, Mr. Speaker, are not to the task, Mr. Speaker. And you know, Mr. Speaker, he has been the chair for this committee for the last 1 year, Mr. Speaker. He's the chairman in order, Mr. Speaker. We are remaining with only 4 years. In fact, he was saying, Mr. Speaker, that some of the reports was supposed to have been tabled in the last assembly, Mr. Speaker. I know the chairman PAC in the last assembly, Mr. Speaker. One of the reasons that he was sent home is because of reports, Mr. Speaker. Now the current chair is also complaining, Mr. Speaker. He has not tabled not a single report out of the 35, Mr. Speaker, and he's saying some of the members do not feel. Mr. Speaker, are the members the problem, or is the chair the problem, Mr. Speaker? I think we should get from there, Mr. Speaker, because once you've been given an opportunity, Mr. Speaker, to serve in a committee, as the chair, Mr. Speaker, I take responsibility. I cannot come here and complain as the chair education. I go and take responsibility as the leader of that committee, Mr. Speaker, and tell my people, let's sit, Mr. Speaker, and work. Mr. Speaker, as we tabled the report yesterday, the Committee on Education, I think we had done with 42 reports, Mr. Speaker. PAC has not tabled, I have the chair saying 2, but I've never seen the 2 reports. And they have 35, Mr. Speaker. And they are saying that we need to readjust those committees, Mr. Speaker. So I think, Mr. Speaker, now the Deputy Speaker, who is the chair of all chairperson, Mr. Speaker, is here. I think there is a problem in that committee, Mr. Speaker. If they have not tabled a single report, 1 year down the line, we are still remaining with 4 years, Mr. Speaker, before we go back and seek fresh mandate from the people, Mr. Speaker. Then it seems we have a very serious problem in that committee. And Mr. Speaker, my suggestion is that the PAC committee should be sent home packing, Mr. Speaker, and new members be constituted in that committee, Mr. Speaker. I can even serve as the acting chair in that committee given the opportunity, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
All the honorable members, the Honorable Eric B. And then I'll give to the Honorable Anthony Tuta to make a comment before I...
thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me also an opportunity just to comment on Chair PAC. I'd like to believe that, Mr. Speaker, as the chair is complaining, he should be informed that the members whom he is complaining of are the one who put them in office. Mr. Speaker, is not in order to complain about his house. These same people are the one who placed them in office. If at all Mr. Speaker is not contented about his members, meaning he will also be removed, because if there will be rearrangement as per the standing order, Mr. Speaker, of the same members, meaning the same chair will lose the position, because we want to understand and we know that for the chairman to be in position, for the chairman and vice chair to be in place, there are some election done. And as at now, our chair Park is not in capacity because his member who placed him in his office are just complaining about them. So I want also the chairman to be informed that by the time he's making recommendation, he should be ready also to lose the office. He should be ready to lose the seat of being the chair. So as by the standing order of this House, Mr. Speaker, the chairman should not be complaining of his house, of which also I'm the member. And I know if the arrangement will be done, a new chair will come in place. So he should be informed and he should be guided.
Order, honorable members. And
in any case,
there's a point of order by Dr. Moses Rotich. And honorable members, let us consult in low tones.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to speak to this matter that is before us. I'm rising on a point of order, Mr. Speaker, in regard to a comment made by my chair, Health, Honorable Eric B., in regard to how matters of PSC is transacted. That is, Mr. Speaker, there was a time I was in Nakuru and the PAC were having a meeting at Embolos. Mr. Speaker, it was unfortunate that the only person that was present transacting business was the chair and some few members to whom quorum was not attained. Mr. Speaker, I seek your indulgence, Mr. Speaker, that the members of this committee, Mr. Speaker, their names be read loud so that we know who they are. Mr. Speaker, thank you so much.
Thank you, the Honorable Dr. Moses. Dr. Eric B., finalize on your submission.
Thank you,
Honorable members.
And what I was saying, Mr. Speaker, is that you see, as a house, as a father of the house, you are just encouraging the chair back so that he do and he meant his house, because if you are coming exposing your house and you are the father, meaning everything is exposed from the fatherhood. Because I want to believe that the father and the mother of the house should be taking care of the house. So he should not be coming here to cry as a father. He should be able to whoop and make his members to be in the house. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Order, honorable members. Order. I'll give to Anthony Ruta first, and then I'll give to order. I want just to remind you on your contents of speeches, honorable members, as per standing order number 97(1), and I want to read. Neither the personal conduct of the governor, nor the conduct of the speaker, or the conduct, and that you need to underline, or the conduct of the holder of an office, whose removal from such office is dependent upon a decision of the assembly, shall be referred to adversely, please note that, except upon a specific substantive motion of which at least 3 days notice has been given. So I know, Honorable Chair, but you propose that the chair should be removed. So you are out of order because the procedures has not been followed. And you are out of order. You don't discuss the content of or the conduct of the holder of the office. And therefore the chair back is protected. But before I give to the Honorable Anthony Ruto, I think it is in order, honorable members, because as I said earlier, when the chairperson speaks, that chair, as I said, responsibility of statement of facts, and therefore he means what he's saying. And I'm also tempted, and I want to direct that the honorable chairperson, do you know who are your members, so that they can stand before this house, so that we can know who are these members who are not passionate enough to do out their work as prescribed in our standing orders. And of course, I have been given a list by my able clerk, and I want to read. And as I read, I request that you stand so that we get to know why you are not passionate, as confirmed by your chairperson. Order, honorable members. Order, honorable members. These are not list of shame. Order, order. This is not list of shame. These are the honorable members of PAC. The Honorable Vincent Korir, who is the chairperson, please, where are you? You need to stand up. Order. The Honorable Monica Chelalat. The Honorable Albert Kipkoech. The Honorable Eric B. Is there the Honorable Paul Chirchir? Where is the Honorable Paul Chirchir? Yes, is here. The Honorable Hilary Basuben. The Honorable Gabriela Chepngeno. The Honorable Julius Siele. Where is Julius Siele? Oh. The Honorable Dora Kaino. Honorable members, I think the reason why we have done that is the chairperson PAC, and we recognize the enormous task before the Public Accounts Committee, and I wanted to give to Anthony Ruto, and then I give to the Deputy Speaker so that I give direction on that matter. I will rule on that matter. Then Honorable Anthony Ruto. All the honorable members, let us consult again with low tones.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir, for giving me this opportunity so that I may also say something as far as the concerns that were raised by Chair Public Accounts Committee. And before I do that, at this juncture, I wish to welcome pupils and teachers and parents from Koitamat Primary School in Ainamoi Ward. Pupils and teachers and parents feel welcome. It has already been mentioned by honorable members that have just spoken that this is county assembly is a replica of the National Assembly. As a county assembly, we oversight the activities that are done by the executive. We also do representation, and also we do legislation. In other words, you are in the right place. Honorable Speaker, sir, Chair Back has already raised some pertinent concerns as far as this committee is concerned. I've taken time, or I took time to listen to his submissions. At this time, Honorable Speaker, sir, it is good to call a spade and a shame the devil. BAC is one of the committees that we rely on in this honorable house in so many things, especially when it comes to utilization of funds. This
is very unfortunate. It is very unfortunate that PAC as a committee is one of those committees which was rated very, very low in terms of committee meetings, in terms of performance. I always say an institution is a leader. A school is the head teacher. Committee, BOM, is the chair of that BOM. In other words, the head of that institutions or organization plays a very significant role in terms of performance in that institution. What do I want to say? Chair PAC should not run away as far as performance of PAC committee is concerned. In fact, when you are reading the names of the members, in fact, those members are the ones who have all what is required in terms of being in that committee. If I may mention a view, Mheshimiwa Albert Kipkoech is chair budget. It has all what it takes to be in that committee. Paul Chirchir has all what it takes. He was once a pastor in one of the schools before he came to this house. He has all what it takes to be in that committee. Pasuben, he bet. MCA Cheblanget, chair finance. And he's also an accountant, a qualified one, a skilled one. So Chair PAC is not telling us the truth. In fact, if you followed what he was saying, he was telling us that those people are unable. They don't have knowledge and skills to be in that committee. That is very wrong. Let me tell you, at the end of the day, this thing is about the heart. It is about the interest. It is about the passion. Chair, please. Honorable Speaker, sir, clean your house. It is not about changing members. Be more serious in your committee. Take time to whip your members. If it is about the issue of quorum, we have that problem. But we go an extra mile to whip our members. I'm chair, sports, culture. And I don't have any problem in terms of quorum. So the problem lies with you. Thank you, Honorable Speakers.
Order, Honorable Members. Order. Now that already the members, the Honorable Anthony Ruta, order as the Honorable Anthony Ruta has already completed on his submission. So I hope it is not point of order. The chairperson, the chairman, PAIC PAC, I will give you an opportunity to respond to those issues later. Of course, you know you cannot speak twice on a matter, but having some issues being raised that requires substantiating, I will give you an opportunity to do that. Allow me first, honorable members, to give to the Chief Whip, that is the Honorable Andrew Nortich, and then I will be glad also to listen from the Honorable Monica as well as the Honorable Dora Keino, so that they can tell us, because they are members of PAC committee, on all this. Before I give to the Deputy Speaker, we will be making his final submission. The Chair, the Chief Whip, proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to start by welcoming pupils from my Namoi ward. And number two, Mr. Speaker, I want to start by joining hands with my colleagues in giving an input probably on the issues of touching PAC. Yesterday, Mr. Speaker, there was a report that was tabled before this Honorable House that was brought in by Honorable Deputy Speaker on the report that touches across all committee. I want to confirm, Mr. Speaker, that as you saw me yesterday, I noted the issue, and based on the number of meetings, the same PAC committee, I think Chair must, you should listen, and the Chair held.
Yes,
Mr. Speaker, can you protect?
Order, honorable,
yes.
Order, honorable members, let us listen to the Honorable Chief Whip.
Yes.
And
yes.
also let me remind the Chief Whip
Yes.
That you should address everything through the Chair.
Yes, sir.
And the Chair only gives direction.
Yes.
And not a member when he or she is contributing. Chief Whip.
Thank you.
Proceed.
Noted. I want to say, Mr. Speaker, like I said yesterday before this Honorable House, I want to say that there is an issue that I noted about the issues of touching on PAC. Yesterday we were given the report, and the meetings that I have done, Mr. Speaker, were 15, and the pending reports that was actually given to the State Committee on the Auditor General's report. That is from the year 2020, if I noted it very clear yesterday, to the year 2022. I want to say, Mr. Speaker, that the said reports, 35 reports, are yet not even one of the reports, of the 35 reports, have been tabled for like a whole year. So therefore, Mr. Speaker, I want to plead with my the Chair that it is always good, because as you've read the names of those members, I have seen they are able. I want to request, Mr. Speaker, through your office, that if there is anything that the State Committee requires, we would be very glad that they be granted. Because you see, having 35 reports pending, they have sat for 15 meetings and probably nothing has come out. So I want to plead, probably the Chair has an issue. It is good that he sheds before the floor of the House, so that we see probably if there's need to assist them, we will be willing, more than willing, through your office, Mr. Speaker, that they be granted. And if need be, we can also give time. Because I've seen the members who are sitting before this committee, Mr. Speaker, are brand new members. The likes of Albert, as the chair budget, the likes of the Honorable Paul Chief, aka recently, Rindo, aka Mr. Speaker, Kimitia, I don't know whether that one is accepted. So, Mr. Speaker, I want also to commend aka the chair, health. I want to request probably, let's lead from the front, because I've seen most of you are chairs of various committees. My request, let's take the business of this House seriously, and we are willing to assist. If there is anybody, Mr. Speaker, who is willing probably to relinquish, most of us here are willing to join the same committees and probably assist. So don't fear, probably there could be some of the issues that we could not be aware, that we are requesting probably if there is anybody who doesn't feel comfortable, please, we are okay. Just volunteer and notify the office of probably the Speaker and the Majority Leader, who happens to be the Chairman of the Select Committee. So with those few remarks, I want to say, Mr. Speaker, I sympathize with my colleagues of the Chair of the PAC, and I request that I saw the Chair lamenting, probably saying that we have a problem, and also the son, who I didn't know, Mr. Speaker, that the Honorable Eric B. who was not part of the pack. But I was surprised. Now the father was crying, the child was also crying. I realized there was a problem. So I want to say that if you don't take business of seriously of the committee, we are willing to come and rescue. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, thank you. The Honorable Monica, you are a member of that Public Accounts Committee.
Thank you so much.
Order, honorable members. I'll give you an opportunity to speak. I know you want to speak about this matter. I'll give you honorable member. I'll also give to Honorable Julius Yele. I want to give all the members of public accounts who are in this house at the moment before we make serious recommendations.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to also say something concerning our committee on PAC. If you heard me yesterday, I mentioned that we are going to do something over the pending business in the PAC committee, and as the chair has confirmed, we have begun doing something. Tomorrow we'll be sitting here doing some questions with CC Finance. And I want to confirm to this House, Honorable Speaker, that I'm ready as the Vice Chair to de-whip our members to be active. Honorable Paul Chirchir was confirming yesterday that he's a member to the Committee on PAC. So we are ready.
Allow her to proceed to finish your point.
Okay, I'm saying I'm ready to support our chair, Honorable Vincent Korir, to do the necessary in our committee. Understand there is a lot that we are supposed to do as PAC committee concerning the expenditure and all other things that we are supposed to do as PAC committee. So I want to confirm that we are ready with our members to do the needful. Otherwise, thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Monica. As I give to Julius, Honorable Julius Yele, Honorable Chief Whip the members to be back into the chambers, and more especially those who are in public accounts committee. And I will, as they come in, I'll direct the Sergeant at Arms that no one should step out of these chambers until we deal with this matter. Honorable Julius, I'll give you, because you are a member, to say something.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity that you have ensured to me. First, I would like to join my colleagues welcoming the students or pupils from Koita Mat, that is from Ainamoi constituency, and inform them that we are very much happy to see them, even though they are from the lower part of our county. Feel most welcome, feel free, get ready to learn. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, concerning the committee on PAC, we have seen a lot. We have seen the commitment of our chair. He is ever committed.
Let's allow the honorable.
Thank you. Our chair is ever committed. He is calling for meetings, but the problem that we have is the members. We have got some members who are ready to support the chair, and that is the reason why they were here accusing the chair, and yet they are not reporting to the meetings. Mr. Speaker, we want your input also to see whether the members are ready to help one another. Mr. Honorable Anthony was here. He's also one of my committee member, agriculture, but he has never stepped to any committee meeting. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, We need to counter-check the membership of our committee members. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Order, honorable. Order. I know you will always have a right of reply. Order, honorable members, so that we have a way forward on this. I want to give the honorable Dora Keino, and then I'll give to Honorable Paul Chirchir.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the chance to contribute on the Committee on Public Accounts Committee. Honorable Speaker, this committee, we have a lot of challenges. I think we should be more committed as members of the committee. Our chair and our vice chair doing very good jobs, but some of the members are not so much committed. But going forward, Mr. Speaker, we will put more action. We will be committed to this job, which the mandate that we have as the PAC committee members. And also, Mr. Speaker, we are requesting for more trainings. We only did one training in Nakuru, and we now request maybe for some trainings in Mombasa, Mr. Speaker, so that the committee can be furnished with everything. Order. Mr. Speaker, thank you for the protection.
Order, let us.
We, as the committee, you know, Mr. Speaker, most of us, we are very old. We were in school, maybe we did finance, but we left a long time ago. We need some refresher classes in this. We are requesting for a trip to Mombasa for trainings. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
All right, thank you. The Honorable Paul Chirchir, you know, you have alluded that you knew yesterday that you are a member. And I'll give, after that, I'll give to the liaison. All the honorable members. Honorable Paul.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Before I make my input on the same, I have seen a court ruling, Mr. Speaker, in Eldoret today, temporarily suspending Uasin Gishu Assembly County sittings. Mr. Speaker, sir, that is very wrong precedence. Much as we respect the independence of the judiciary, that is an attack on devolution, Mr. Speaker, sir. And as county assemblies, we need to rise, stand in solidarity with the county assembly of Uasin Gishu. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm very much aware that the National Assembly is not properly constituted in terms of the 2/3 gender rule. But there is no code that has ever suspended the sittings of the National Assembly. And yet we are a replica of the National Assembly, Mr. Speaker, sir. So we want to strongly condemn that, at the same time respect the independence of the judiciary. I thought that should be very clear, and I need to pronounce myself on the same. Having said that, Mr. Speaker, PAC committee, Mr. Speaker, I want to sincerely apologize for what has happened, and the chairman, liaison committee, the Honorable Deputy Speaker, needs to have a training with the committee clerks, Mr. Speaker, sir, and come up with a schedule of committee meetings that do not clash. You sometimes find the committee for roads, Mr. Speaker, sir, sitting at 10 a.m. on Thursday. The same time, there is a committee meeting for PAC, and I am a member of roads. At the same time, a member of PAC. So I will be torn between which committee to attend. So I want to make an appeal, and as I apologize for what has happened, and promise this House, Mr. Speaker, because we work on a delegated, as a committee, you delegate your powers to us. So I promise that going forward from today, Mr. Speaker, sir, from today, the 35 reports that have not been worked on and reported in this house. I promise that the Auditor General's report, we will work very hard, tirelessly, and I promise from next week we will have the first 2 reports. I will even be willing to assist the chair, if he will be very busy, to chair the PAC committee, Mr. Speaker, sir. I will use my experience as a former BASA stroke accountant to help the committee, Mr. Speaker, sir. And you can trust me, Mr. Speaker, next week we will be firing. We will be firing from all the cylinders, Mr. Speaker, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Honorable Paul Churchill, for that commitment. I now give to the deputy, I give to the chairperson PAC a minute to make his submissions, especially on the comments that have been made, and then I'll give to the DS, and then I now give direction.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. And I would like to appreciate all the members who have contributed regarding PAC committee. And I've listened to every member on their contribution. And the reason why we are here, Mr. Speaker, is to find solutions. And the best way to get solutions is to give out answers on how we can treat a problem. And I'm very happy because most of the members here have contributed. Now, I would like to do some explanation about PAC. PAC depends on reports from the Auditor General. And Mr. Speaker, sir, these reports are only prepared once in a year. We do not generate reports. We wait for Auditor General to generate reports so that we can analyze. And we have discussed much more about performance and the rest. Mr. Speaker, sir, you remember these committees were constituted in May. Paul Churchill was the former chair for PAC. And I do believe when we picked up, there was not even a single meeting. But for now, the reports that we handle, Mr. Speaker, sir, like for example, the current report that we are supposed to handle tomorrow, requires a lot of time. That's why we need to understand each and every committee. I'm also a committee member of water. I'm a committee member of lands. But if we are to do the ratings, then I don't know how we criteria, because us we require a lot of time so that we can analyze and get detailed information that are correct, factual, and true representation of the report of finance. That is why I was saying we also need not only capacity building but also expertise. We have some experts here. We had discussed about some of the honorable members here have talked about.
As you finalize.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker. So what I want to say is, I, as the chair, we are very much committed. I have been always committed, and I will always be committed. What I'm requesting the members, kindly let's pull our socks, especially in the quorum. I know yesterday, Mr. Speaker, we were in the same boat. In this house, you were not able to get quorum. That is what I'm facing. Sometimes you call for a meeting, and I only find myself and the vice chair. That becomes a problem because we cannot transact or do anything regarding the reports. So ours is commitment. We only require your support as a full house, and further we are going to see the results. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, the chairperson. The Honorable Deputy Speaker, who is the chairperson liaison committee. Your observation and comments.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this chance to also give my remarks concerning this important issue today. And before I do that, Mr. Speaker, sir, allow me also to join my colleagues in welcoming the pupils and teachers of Koitamat Primary School and Koisamoi from Ainamoi Ward. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm delighted to welcome the school. In the public gallery, Mr. Speaker, sir, is one of my teachers, Madam Joyce Rono, who is a teacher at Koitamat Primary School, who taught me 25 years ago at a school called Captain Biscuit Primary School. And Madam Joyce has been a trailblazer. I speak here today because the good English I speak today, she did a lot of contribution. When I saw her this afternoon, I was delighted that she still uses wisdom. And I want to celebrate Madam Joyce, the teacher from Koitamat Primary School, for having been a trailblazer in education. To the pupils from the school, if you have a doubt about your teacher, the Deputy Speaker speaking here today is a testimony that you can do well if you are mentored by a teacher like Madam Joyce, who is here today. So I want to say thank you so much, Koitamat Primary School. Madam Joyce, I celebrate you today that you've come here to the County Assembly of Kericho. So the pupils, be encouraged and know that you can also become leaders of tomorrow, just like I am today. Mr. Speaker, allow me to come to the discussion of today. And I want to say that as the Chair Liaison, I have noted the concerns of the Committee of PAC, and I want to reiterate my commitment as the Deputy Speaker, the Chair Liaison, that I have noted the concern. One of them is the concern of clashing of meetings by committees. And as Chair Liaison, I have the mandate to ensure that that is corrected. So I want to commit before this House today that I will look at that particular scheduling of meetings to ensure that there's no clashing, so that PAC committee can then have their meeting without any interruption, because this committee handles documents, voluminous documents that requires concentration, and therefore it would be unfair to demand from them to deliver when they have not been given due diligence. Number two, Mr. Speaker, sir, is that I wish to confirm to this House that the same committee has been trained. They went to Nakuru, they spent taxpayers' money. They were trained. Chair, I think about 2 months ago, I remember, Mr. Speaker, sir, it came through liaison. We approved for them. They were trained in Nakuru for about 5 days. And therefore, in terms of capacity building, I think they have been well capacitated. All they have to do is to show results that they have been trained on the same. And I want to end by giving, by illustrating, by quoting 2 authors of a book, 2 books by 2 authors. One is by John Maxwell, that talks about that everything rises and falls on leadership. And the other book is by Sun Tzu, The Art of War. Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to begin by encouraging them, using the first order, John Maxwell, that everything rises and falls on leadership. John Maxwell explained in his book that for any organization or individual, the leader must take charge. The leader must be seen to be taking action. And I want to encourage my chair, PAC, that lead from the front. Ensure your troops are well within you. There can never be a leader when there are no followers, because followers will follow a leader who is upright, who is forward-looking, and who is motivated to move forward. So, Chair PAC, please be encouraged. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, sir, as I come to an end, is that also the book by Sun Tzu, The Art of War. The Art of War is an illustration. There's a king called King Fuchi, who had taken an army to go and fight in war. He took the best army, well trained, well educated, but they were beaten in the battle. When he came back, he told his wise man, "Why were we beaten?" Sun Tzu told, was informed by the wise man that, yes, you have the best team, but the problem is that they lack commitment. To the members of PAC committee, commitment, we have seen that you have all the required, you have all the swords, the training, you have the former BASA, the chair budget, all the people in that committee. What you lack is commitment. And therefore, in this war, you will be killed. Just like in the Art of War. So I want to encourage you today to commit yourselves so that you can win and give us good reports in this assembly. Because if you do that, then PAC committee will be one of the best in the country. You have seen the counterparts in the National Assembly, chaired by Opio and I, and they do serious matters. We'd like to see in the near future the Public Accounts Investment Committee of the County Assembly of Kericho being one of the most lethal in terms of demanding for accountability, in terms of the reports from the Director General. So to the Committee of PAC, please remember those 2 books, that you must lead from the front and you must be committed. With those many remarks, Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to say thank you, and once again, you have my commitment as the chair, Liason. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you so much, the Honorable Deputy Speaker, who is also the chairperson, Liaison Committee. Of course, you have summarized it well. Order, honorable members, order. The Deputy Speaker has summarized well. And I hope the chairperson and the members of the committee has picked what the members, the submission from the members, and more so the one by the Deputy Speaker. My only concern is that in the book of Art of War, don't pick or don't interpret Zhang Zu to be Kung Fu. And based on that, honorable members, on your submissions, I now want to direct as follows. Number one, the chairperson, Liaison, our Deputy Speaker, I acknowledge that training was done on 13th and 14th of April 2023 in Nakuru for this team. But it is unfortunate that half of the members of PAC committee did not even attend that training. And therefore, public resources was not utilized properly, and I directed the office of the clerk to recover the allowances that members were paid, and they never attended that training. For those who never attended the training, clerk, that report should be tabled before this house on the members who were facilitated and they didn't attend the training on 13th and 14th April 2023. And that report, the Deputy Speaker, who is the Chairperson, Liaison Committee, you will table it on Tuesday, 10th October. That is on 10th October, on Wednesday, 11th October 2023. Please note that, so that you will ask clerk information to be provided to the Deputy Speaker on the members who are to be surcharged, so that we lead by example. Secondly, I direct that the chairperson, Liaison, in conjunction, of course, with the office of the clerk, organize immediately for a training to build capacity these honorable members on public accounts and investment committee mandates and matters surrounding the whole committee, and probably get an expert who is whether a sitting member of parliament or a former member of parliament or a senator or a former member or a former senator who has experience on matters of public accounts investment committee. I direct the office of the clerk to ensure that resources is provided on time, and not only resources, but the human resource that will assist, that will train these honorable members. And honorable members, PAC, no apologies shall be taken for that meeting. As you can now recall, that we have spent almost an hour discussing on a committee, on a failure of a committee, or on a failure of leadership of our committee. Thirdly, I direct that the office of the clerk attach with immediate effect, one, a legal officer to this committee, and two, a research officer to this committee to help the committee and facilitate them do proper work that they are required to do. And lastly, I direct that as per section 178 of your standing orders, honorable members, and that is the members of the Public Accounts Committee, and I want to direct that a select committee may establish such subcommittees as it may consider necessary for the proper discharge of its functions. That is standing order number 178. And I therefore direct that this committee establish a subcommittee comprising of 3 members so that they can properly discharge their functions. And the secretariat that I have talked about, the legal and the research, be incorporated in that subcommittee so that they can be assisted. And in the subcommittee, all powers and privileges shall apply to that subcommittee. Honorable members, we have come to the conclusion of our sitting this afternoon. I again extend the invitation of to Koita Amat Primary School from Ainamoi Ward. On behalf of this assembly, I wish you a fruitful visit. Thank you for following us live. We are always live on our Facebook page, and we are being followed not only in Kericho, not only in Kenya, but even globally. Thank you so much, the honorable members, and there being no other order of business, this assembly stands adjourned until next week, Tuesday.